You're a lot closer to your desired reality than you think. And this is the thing, because chances are if you're watching this video, you're probably doing different meditations, different manifestation techniques, probably doing the inner work. You've probably been on this journey for some time. But the reason why this desired reality hasn't materialized the way that you expected it to so far is simple. The principles that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is not just coming from thin air. These are literally created and crafted after training tens of thousands of people all across the world and are seeing what are the core principles that are actually working for people to live in their desired reality versus what are some of the common pitfalls that people are falling into, keeping them in this constant, never-ending battle of almost like it's them versus the universe. Or they're trying so hard, doing so much, but never quite seeing the results. So first of all, before I get into the main principle, it's important for us to have a foundation of how this universe works. This reality, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you look out in nature, you look out in how this world works, it strives towards balance. Whether we look at the human body, no matter what temperature it is outside, the inside is always striving to keep that same temperature. Even if it's the blood pH, no matter what you eat, striving to keep it within a certain range. Or equally, if we look at things like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. However you look at nature, it strives towards balance. But the problem is, most people don't set up their balance in favor of them living their desired reality. Quite the opposite, actually. And how's best to understand this is, you know, if you like a pool or a beach party or something like that. I'm saying beach party like I go beach parties every weekend. I've been to one beach party in my life, but you know what I'm talking about. Imagine you're at a pool, beach party, whatever it is, and you've got like a beach ball. When you take that beach ball, you put it underwater, what happens? The ball just springs up. Now, what is important for us to be aware of is your reality and what you experience is just like this. Look, typically, there will be two main scenarios. Scenario one, scenario two. I want you to imagine that we dropped the pen. I want you to imagine that you in this reality is experiencing this right now. This, imagine it is the ocean. The infinite ocean of infinite possibilities, of infinite realities that you can experience. Imagine this though. Imagine your desired reality is up here. Above the sea level. This is what you want to experience. Your desired reality is here. Now imagine that you are this beach ball in both of these scenarios. We're going to do one scenario at a time. Imagine that you're this beach ball. What would happen to you if we fill you up with water? What's going to happen? Well, obviously, you're either going to stay where you are or you're going to drop down and find the balance to where the pressure finds its equilibrium, the pressure of the inside versus the pressure of the outside. However, if we do something else and we take this ball and we fill it with air, what's going to happen? The same thing that happened to all those beach parties that we went to. The ball is going to start to work its way up to find its equilibrium in its desired reality. Now, it sounds simple, but this is where a lot of people go wrong. The first thing is, what is the thing that is happening inside of you? This is what I call your default energy. Now, your default energy is made up of so many different variables, we probably couldn't list them all. There are main components to you specifically that is determining what energy you are resonating, you're vibrating at right now, in this very moment that you're watching this video. I tend to simplify it into four main categories: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Mental is things like thoughts, beliefs, internal imagery that you keep playing on repeat. Emotions might be unprocessed emotions, some unfulfilled psychological needs. It could even be certain desires or aversions that you have in life. The physical is things like your fascia, your nervous system, your environment. Spiritual will be things like your conviction in life, your connection to your higher self, your intuition, your alignment with your highest destiny reality. So as you can see, there are many variables that make up your default energy. What I'm going to do though is I want to simplify it and bring it back down to the first principles of this, of some things that you can practically do to change this, so that you are not experiencing yourself being in a undesired reality, or even worse, another undesired reality when you're putting in so much effort, but how you can make a straight beeline to your desired reality and experience it in this very moment to materialize it in the next moment. But before I give you those practical steps, I want to prepare you, because I told you at the beginning of this video that you're a lot closer to your desired reality than you think. And this is the thing, because chances are if you're watching this video, you're probably doing different meditations, different manifestation techniques, probably doing the inner work. You've probably been on this journey for some time. But the reason why this desired reality hasn't materialized the way that you expected it to so far is simple. Imagine we are doing everything right. We are managing our default energy and we are filling our balloon with air to match the frequency of our desired reality. As we are going up, this isn't like you're in that pool party and you push the balloon down just very simply and then boom, it pops up. This reality is infinite. So you might be 100 meters away from your desired reality in this analogy. You might be 200 meters, you might be 1,000 meters. But no matter how far you are, you embody this, you are going to make a beeline to your desired reality and experience it. But imagine this. Imagine you're at like 200 meters right now. And at this 200 meter mark, you actually make some progress. You go from here to here. Maybe it's 190 meters, maybe it's 180 meters. But when I say altitude blindness, notice this. When you are here versus where you are here, what your reality may look like, it may be very similar. It may look like there hasn't been much change. It may look like actually nothing's changed. But the reality is you have been shifting, you have been moving closer to your desired reality. But because in the depths of this ocean, when you're in the depths, 190 meters is not much different to 180 meters, 150 meters. You can't notice the difference. You start to think, oh, what I'm doing is not working. This meditation is not working. This strategy is not working. This shadow work hasn't been working. It keeps repeating the same patterns. No, it has been working, but you're not able to see the full effects of being towards the surface or even above the surface as of yet. But what this leads to, and I don't know if you've experienced this, you're doing the work, not seeing the results you expect. So then you take your foot off the gas. Maybe you get shiny object syndrome, try a new technique, try a new strategy, try something else. But all this is doing is you making progress, reducing progress, making progress, reducing progress, being on this never-ending cycle of making progress and not seeing progress. So the first thing is to recognize that on this journey, with you embodying this higher frequency, this higher default energy in your life, there may be times where you are actually progressing, but you're not noticing that you're progressing. You just got to stay strong, hold your conviction, and maintain that new default energy. And I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what you can do in a moment and how to persevere with that. Secondly, and this one is a bit tougher than even what I've mentioned here. The second thing is your friction field. What I mean by this, as this ball is going up, what is happening? You are going up through the water and there's going to be friction. There's going to be turbulence. There's going to be things that are happening in your life that might look like it's the opposite of what you want. Relationships getting flipped upside down. Your purpose, redefine your purpose. Some things that you believed in that is not the same way. Intuition showing you something that goes against your logic. I don't know if you've heard this. They say chaos to order. You ever experienced this? Like maybe you're cleaning your bedroom and you tell your friend, your family, I'm just going to clean my bedroom. They come in around halfway through and your bedroom looks worse than when you started. You've got clothes all over the floor, all over your bed. It looks like a bomb's hit it. Then they're like, what the heck's happened? I thought you was tidying this place. And you're just like, just give me some time and like, trust me, it's going to work out. But then they come in an hour later, 2 hours later, and it's a completely different room. Fully furnished, fully clean, fully organized, like a anti-bomb just hit it. But this is what it is. We say chaos to order. If you are doing the work and you are experiencing some chaos, it does not mean you are doing the wrong thing. Get that into your mind. It does not mean that. This is where on this channel, you know that I cover deeper intuition, tapping into lucid dreaming, higher self-awareness for a reason. So we're not just using our mind to think, oh, I see one thing, I think it's not working out, it must not be working out. We can tap into our intuition to know that this is actually how it's meant to be. But to give you some reassurance, oftentimes you may notice that there might be some more chaos in your life before the order. This is natural. Why? This is just you bubbling up to your desired reality, increasing the friction as you're going through, and you're experiencing that in that moment. It does not mean you're doing the wrong thing. You need to jump ship. Maybe you need to try a new technique. Maybe you should try something else. No, stay with conviction in yourself. A lot of these techniques, if you could take even one thing from this video, take this. A lot of the techniques that you see online, it is not the techniques that have the God Almighty power. You have the God Almighty power. You have the ability to transmute whatever you're going through in this reality. They say in the Bible that God created you in his image or in their image. You have the ability, you have the potential, it's all there. But the problem is we don't realize it. We give our power away to some new technique, some new guru, some new thing outside that's going to save me. No, you can save you. How do we do this? Well, first of all, we need to have the awareness that, okay, there may be some altitude blindness. That's cool. If I'm putting the effort in, I'm staying with conviction, I'm maintaining this frequency, and you'll know if you're maintaining the frequency because you'll feel it in yourself. Then, okay, if I'm not noticing much difference right now, this reality has a time delay. It's not like a lucid dream where you have that instant manifestation. Well, you can have instant manifestation, depends what vibration you're at. But for majority of people, where they are to where they're going, it's not going to be in a second. There's going to be some time delay in the reality. There's going to be some altitude blindness. Be cool with that. There might even be a friction field that's being generated. Be cool with that. Chaos to order. The order will come, just like when you're tidying the bedroom. But what we need to do is we need to transmute whatever is in our ball. Because I've given you two scenarios. Scenario 1, where the ball is filled with water going down. Scenario 2, the ball is filled with air going up. But most people, it's not that simple. Most people, there's a bit of water, there's a bit of air. Depending on which proportions, might mean that you go up, but only to here. Might mean that you go down, but only to here. Or might mean that you go down further. Let's take water. Imagine you're filled with... I'm laughing because I'm like imagining like water inside you. Random, I know. But let's take that. Imagine there's water inside you. This is the default energy. Now imagine this. What is water? Water is H2O. If we can transmute the hydrogen, we are left with oxygen, a significant component of air. We can also transmute this in the way of, if you heat water up, what happens? Turns to a gas, a form of a air-like substance. There are infinite ways that we can transmute whatever is within our default energy. Infinite ways. We just need to use our God-given abilities, our higher self abilities, in order to be able to transmute whatever is going on here to whatever needs to go on, to bring the balance where the universe has no choice but to give you your desired reality. This is what we spoke about at the beginning of the video, to do with balance. It is looking for balance. If you are here with a bit of water, a bit of air, it's going to find the balance and give you here. If you are fully convicted with your new default frequency, default energy, then it has no choice but to give you your desired reality in the most optimal way, shape, and form. So to put simply, if your awareness, if your attention is on the lack, is on the water around you, which, trust me, it's easy for it to happen. Why? Because you are embodying this, you know that you want this, but all you can see is the blue. All you can see is the ocean. So it's easy to start to thinking and letting your aura weaken, letting your holes open up to allow the water to come in, because you think this is it. Then you start to mirror and match the frequency that you're in, the reality that you're in. But the reality that you're in is simply a reflection of your past default energy, your past thoughts, beliefs, unfulfilled desires, unprocessed traumas, environment, conviction, spiritual energy. So don't succumb to the environment that is around you, because you have your God-given abilities to see beyond time and space and see what you are destined for. So now we have this awareness. Even by watching this video, even if I don't tell you these two things and you just watch this video, you will already have a deeper awareness of what to do, right? Like the video, if you got some value from even being aware of things like altitude blindness, things like your friction field, hit the like button to let me know. But these two simple things that you can do right now. First one is that I recommend to everyone, have at least 1 or 2 sessions a day where you are doing some sort of visualization. It can be a basic visualization of you embodying your desired reality, acting as the wish fulfilled, however you want to do it. There are many techniques to visualize. I've even shared some on this channel, but do something to anchor. What you're doing here is when you're visualizing, you're shutting off your senses to the outside, to the ocean that is not your desired reality. And you are focusing your senses on this. You're focusing on filling up your beach ball with your desired energy, with this new default energy. When you do this, you shut out this, it naturally brings you to here. This is simple. This is plain and simple, right? You've probably heard this 1,000 times. But the problem that most people experience is after they do this, okay, they're starting to move up, starting to progress. It could be a minute after. It could be 10 minutes after. It could be an hour after. It could be a day after. Sometime after, this starts to dip and go back into their old default frequency. We want to avoid this. But it's easier said than done for most people. Why? Because when you open back up your eyes, go into the reality, all you see is this. So how do we shut this off? Very simple. When you are going about your day-to-day, you need to notice how your higher self, how the you in your desired reality would do things. Simple things. From how would it be different to even you watching this video right now? Think about it. The you in your desired reality, when they're watching this video or a video like this, they would have a certain frequency, a certain feeling. Maybe it's a secure feeling, knowing that there's X amount of money in their bank. Maybe it's a secure feeling knowing that they have this kind of relationship. They have this open communication with their friends, their family, their loved one. Maybe it's that they have this kind of energy that they just feel healthy. They feel energized. Maybe it's just simple that they feel joy. Notice this. What would the you in your desired reality be feeling now? How would it feel? What would be the difference? And I want you, while you're watching the rest of this video, there isn't much longer left. While you're watching the rest of this video, I want you to hold that frequency, hold that energy. But the practical thing for you to do right when this video finishes is I want you to note down all the areas of your life, of what you're embodying in your default energy, in the way that you live, that is not quite in alignment with your highest destiny reality. List them all. This list is not a finite list. You might write 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 things in this list. And then later throughout the day, because you've got this new level of awareness after watching this video, you might realize as you're doing something, oh, I'm doing this. My desired reality wouldn't be doing this. Me, my desired reality wouldn't be doing this. So you note this down. The reason why we're writing this list down is because a lot of it's subconscious. A lot of it's not processed consciously. So you're doing things without realizing it. Now we write it down. As soon as it happens, this is a trigger to your desired reality. All of this list, don't see it as, oh, I'm doing this bad. See these as gateways, as triggers, as an elevator lift to your desired reality. So to put it simply, don't be blinded by your altitude blindness. Don't worry about the friction field that may happen. Chaos to order. Anchor in your desired reality, your default energy, by shutting off the external at least 1 to 2 times per day. Feeling what it's like here, embodying that, building that. Maintain it. So we set it and then we maintain it. Maintain it. How? By starting your list. Noting all these things down so that whenever they happen in your life, they are triggers to your desired reality. Now, if you got value from this video, you enjoy content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of these videos as I post them. I've also done plenty of videos on topics like this or similar topics, all to do with, this whole channel is all to do with you living in your highest destiny reality. So if you want more of an insight into a concept like this, where I talk about in detail where I got this whole concept of your default energy from, make sure to check this video out here. And your higher self is recommending you to watch this video after as well. So you can choose, feel the flow, trust your intuition. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Any topics you want me to cover. If there's enough demand, I'll be sure to cover it. Sending you lots of love. Embody that new default energy, and I'll see you in the next video.